Do you know that REITs really have to be one of the best businesses to own? Not only do you have a fixed rent, you even have that escalating year by year. That's what a REIT manager should be doing. Not only that, for certain REITs, for example, like Capitalmall Trust, they even have a fixed rent plus a variable component, which means if the F&B outlet, if the fashion outlet is doing more sales, you as a REIT investor actually gets fixed rent plus variable rent. You actually earn more on them. So favorable for the landlord. But today, dynamics are changing. Today, you're starting to see REITs underperform STI. If this is a topic that interests you, why REITs are really doing so badly, continue watching. Hi guys, welcome back. If you haven't checked on previous videos, I'll leave links below how you can actually select a REIT, for example, a simple way to select REIT. I'll leave links below. I'll also give you an alternative point of view. At that point of time, why I thought REITs are genuinely expensive. Look for those links that gives you a backdrop to understanding REITs a lot better. But you know, today we're discussing REITs. As of now, COVID-19, what is exactly happening? Look at this over here. Realize that government is actually passing law that states that whatever relief they get, they are looking for the REIT, for the landlord to pass it on to their end tenants. Their objective is to protect small businesses, which means as a landlord, which is you as a REIT investor, you're stuck in between. You have your own bank interest to pay, but then any relief, any subsidy, any benefit is supposed to be passed on to your customer, which is the tenant, which means you're stuck in between. That's why REITs are probably going to suffer quite a bit. They're stuck in this hard place. Whatever relief you don't get, whatever benefits you have to pass it on. So REITs are really in this rock and hard place in many ways. So not only that, let's look at this. There's also lobbying efforts for contracts to be redesigned. That is horrifying if you are a landlord, because previously you get fixed rent. Now they're trying to lobby for landlords to actually change it all to variable rent, because everything is so uncertain. If the small business is unable to survive, unemployment is going to run, and government does not like that. And that's why they are definitely going to support associations and lobbying efforts to make sure design of this contract is done. Not only that, if you look at this over here, you realize that there's lobbying efforts to allow small businesses to default, to move out of their contract and to return any deposit. Previously, as a landlord, is so favorable. I'm on two sides. I've done REIT investing before. I've also rented commercial space before from SMRT. And from my experience, it was horrible, because not because of SMRT, but because the contract is so onerous, it's so unfavorable to any tenant. When I'm unable to survive, I forfeit my rent. I still have to reinstate the place that I rented back to return to my landlord. But then what does the landlord do? They find someone to substitute in, and they are totally okay. There's so many people who want to rent locations, rent shop space, rent commercial space when times are good. But as of now, things are looking very different. That's why REITs are looking to have a very gloomy outlook moving forward. This is not a buy and sell call. This is truly an explanation of what you should be understanding if you're looking to invest in REITs as of today. Now let's talk about stock performance, because that is what I promised to you. We'll be comparing versus STI index using a 6 months time frame to standardize everything so that you get a good sensing of where's looking bad as well as what may be value, for example, if you're keen to get invested. Now let's start with CDL Hospitality Trust. This actually is in tourism, because if you own CDL, you're owning hotels as your asset. As we know, COVID-19, there's really not much external travel if there's any. And not only that, you're only banking on internal staycations. How much rent income can you get from your hotels? So CDL actually owns, for example, Novotel. So if you own CDL, you have to realize these are assets you own, and the performance right now is minus 54% from 6 months time frame. This is severely under STI's performance. Now let's move on to a different sector. Let's move on to shopping malls. That can be represented by Frasers Centrepoint Trust, which I'll show you over here. You see that performance is minus 37%. Frasers owns, for example, North Point in Yishun. What about Capitalmall Trust? Capitalmall Trust is one of the biggest REITs in Singapore, and they own all the iconic malls, Raffles City, Bugis Junction, Plaza Singapura, but they've also seen a minus 38%, which is way underperforming STI, which has lost about 22-23% as of this time of filming. What about REITs, for example, that owns a mixed assets? For example, they own shopping malls as well as commercial towers. There can be two examples to look for over here. First one is actually Suntec Reit. Suntec Reit, as you know, if you've been to Suntec, there's commercial space, which is the office towers, 5 towers of them, as well as the retail space. So Suntec has lost a minus 37%, similar to Frasers. But what about for Mapletree Commercial Trust? Mapletree has about 40% exposure into malls itself through Vivo City. And Mapletree, if you see over here in this chart, you realize it lost minus 34%. all of them have underperformed STI. All of them seem to suggest that now is not a favorable outlook for landlords, asset-heavy landlords that have certain liabilities, because your income is affected and yet you have liability exposure, which means you have to pay interest income. The only REIT that I can find, or rather only sector of REITs that I can find that are doing slightly better is Ascendas. Ascendas, as you can see over here, minus 12%. This is in comparison with every one of them. Ascendas, as you can see, is probably a least affected, simply because industrial REITs, maybe they have a longer lease period, they have locked in, maybe their tenants are not as unstable, they are usually MNCs that will likely ride through this COVID-19 crisis. So markets actually responded. They have lost minus 12%, but each and every REIT of them, each and every other sector has lost a lot more than STI. That is why I usually advocate, get broadly diversified, because if you are not super savvy with investigating books, it's much easier to be broad-based. Buy STI index. Why buy individual REITs? You can even buy basket REIT, which is Lion S-REIT ETF. Over there, you see they've lost similarly to STI index, because there's good and there's bad. So when you buy broad-based, you are going to have an average return, and your main focus should be what's going to happen 5 years down the road. Not really stock picking which is the best REIT. That is very, very difficult unless you really know the books, unless you have real conviction. If not, just buy broad-based, because now is the time to show you that broad-based actually gives you a lot of peace of mind. Broad-based actually gives you average returns, but if you're happy with what it's going to look like in 5 years' time, you're going to benefit massively. Now, I have a further tip for you, and before we get there, I would like to invite you to smash the like button so YouTube algorithm knows this valuable content that we should reach together to a wider audience, and also smash the subscribe button so you'll get notified whenever there's a new video to help you in your financial journey. Join our community, because every week we'll be discussing on retirement ideas, investment ideas, etc, etc. And without further ado, let's touch on this tool over here that's done by CD. I'll leave links below, and this is how it looks. This is done by CD itself, pretty good. What you realize over here is you can quickly filter the book value of each individual REIT. You can compare across REITs, and you can also see on the gearing ratio. And I have an interesting finding. If I look in the highest gearing, I actually found ESR Reit. And if you can see over here in this performance, you realize that ESR Reit has really underperformed STI. It's lost more than half of its value over the last 6 months. Now, ESR Reit is one of the smaller REITs. They own industrial properties. But could it be because of their gearing ratio that market is really penalizing it? And before we dive whether it's a buy or sell for you, you decide on your own. You should also note that its dividend yield as of now, as you can see over here, we'll put the chart up back for you again to see. It's 15+%. But again, will dividends be cut for REITs? Will dividends be reduced such that this is something that you cannot rely on, this 15+% for your own investment decision making? So there's a further tip that I'd like to help you with, so that you don't go investing in purely based on dividend yield, because that yield is likely going to be compromised for each and every sector. I think that's a fair assumption, to broadly speak. So again, leave any comments you have below. I'll pick up each and every one of them, because this video is really to help you understand why REITs are underperforming, why they are doing so badly as compared to STI. And always, my suggestion is always to invest broad-based. Look for my links below if you want a one-to-one discussion. Leave any comments. I'll pick up each and every one of them. With that, I'll sign off. Take care and goodbye. If you're looking to get invested, look for links below. I'll be giving you 3 months free in terms of investment management. With that, you get a portfolio that's diversified. With that, you get management and active communication as to what to do with your investments to get to your financial goals. Look for links below. I'll see you there.